came out from Kevin Durant, but it hasn't happened yet. Are the Nets asking for too much? There are not enough teams with enough to offer? Why is it taking so long?
I think a number of reasons, Chris. Keep in mind, Kevin Durant is now on day 2 of a 4-year contract, so they have plenty of time to trade him.
Day 2.
They're in no rush to trade him. And that's interesting as it relates to what we were just discussing with Kyrie Irving and the LA Lakers. There are some scenarios in which it makes sense to trade Kevin Durant first and then see what you get back in return before making a decision on Kyrie. Or if the Nets have just made up their mind that they don't want Kyrie regardless, so whether KD's on the roster, they could deal him first. So there are a lot of scenarios here at play. And Chris, I think the price that Brooklyn wants back in return for KD went up yesterday because of what the Utah Jazz got for Rudy Gobert. That was a tremendous haul. Kevin Durant's a better player. He's on a 4-year deal. So we're talking about maybe an unprecedented haul in terms of veteran players, draft picks, pick swaps, all kinds of things. That's what the Brooklyn Nets are asking for, and that's what they should get, given how good Kevin Durant is.
So you're saying today's price is not yesterday's price. I understand what you're saying, but looking at what Kevin Durant provides, and you're thinking if you're the Nets, like, hold on. You came off this Achilles injury. Here's $40 million to get better. Now you come back, you have 2 amazing seasons with us. We're going to invest $200 million more in you. And like you said, 2 days into this extension, you want out. Is it a possibility the Nets are like, look, we can't make this happen. You have to play with us going forward, and he remains in a Brooklyn uniform?
No, I don't think there's any scenario. And I've heard the conversations, and I can understand why some would think that, you know, they can play hardball in this situation. But the reality is this. He's too good a player, and it would be too big a distraction to have a season where he isn't playing. I just don't think, even from the league's perspective, that you would want to have that scenario play out that way. And I also say that I think it makes more sense to move Kyrie first because now you have a better sense of what you're going to be dealing with and what your needs are going to be in long term. Because when you look at Durant's deal is a long-term deal for the Brooklyn Nets as well, whereas Kyrie is a short-term. They're both on 1-year deals, and they're not going to get a lot back for him, whereas with Durant, that could be franchise-altering. So I think they probably want to take a little bit more time. And the reality is also they don't have as many teams that are going to be able to participate in a Durant trade, partly because the reality is no one's going to want to take back a guy that they're going to have to pay that much money that doesn't want to be there. I do think that's going to play a role in all of this as well. And so the teams that he's interested in, I think the Nets, if they're smart, they're going to give those teams some time to see if they can make the deal work and where both sides can have a win-win in this. So that drama could play out a little bit longer. It's unfortunate, but, you know, think about it. We're not even talking about the fiasco that happened with James Harden. Like, that deal probably far more negatively impacted the Brooklyn Nets. You know, the Brooklyn Nets gave up. They don't have a first-round pick for 5 years?
5 years, no picks with the picks.
None of them are protected. Like they put themselves in a really difficult position, which I understood to a certain degree in the beginning if you had that group together.